Today I want to talk about intermittent fasting. There's been an article floating around, but number one, I can't believe how social media has made so many people weak, emotionally weak, that one article, just one article, can uproot your emotions and make you frantic and, make you doubt yourself, make you doubt what you've been doing. You just look at data, you just look at an article. I'm not complaining, I'm pointing something out that is weakening us as human beings every single day. Tomorrow there'll be an article that, 10,000 steps is bad for your brain. And are you going to stop working out? Are you going to stop walking? Or are you going to use common sense? The point is, this is how social media weakens us every day. We don't have a mind of our own to relax, step back, analyze the study. Just because it comes from the WHO doesn't mean it's entirely true. And you need to understand that social media loves to induce fear into people, and they won. Social media won. People who have been fasting and getting results, and today who have prevented bypass surgeries and have, literally healed, are now asking questions, am I going to get a heart attack because I fast? The whole point of this is to understand that your emotional stability is the first step towards fulfillment, happiness, and even your physical health. Now let's break down fasting and sort this problem out once and for all. If you've put yourself into a box, into a cage, that society is built and social media is built, well, you're going to behave like a prisoner. Every day is going to be miserable because today science is telling you this, tomorrow science will tell you something else. Today an influencer is telling you to eat this, tomorrow another influencer is telling you not to eat this. It's all fear. You need to go back and claim your power. Have a mind of your own. You have a beautiful mind that's capable of thinking and then asking the right questions. But let's go straight into it. Number one, let's go back to the 16-8. Ever since the 16-8 was launched, I kept telling people, why 16-8? Why not 17? Why not 16 and a half? Why not 15? Why not 14? But people loved to jump into a box because some culture, which is actually a very sick culture and getting sicker day by day, put the world into a box of 16-8. And we also know the truth behind 16-8. That study was done on mice, not on human beings. Now, 16-8 works well for a lot of people, and it doesn't for a lot of people. Okay? There is no magic number. Everyone is different. You need to understand that when you're going on to social media, when you're stepping out into society, understand the word bio-individuality. Everyone is different. 16-8 worked for a few people. 16-8 worked. Fasting will always work for someone who's heavily obese. Obviously, you start eating less, you're in calorie deficit, you will lose weight. It doesn't mean that fasting is for everyone. You need to understand that right now. Everyone is different. I know people who get the most therapeutic benefits of fasting for just 12 hours every day. And then I know some people who get therapeutic benefits who have a 13-hour fast. Some have a 14. Some people thrive on an 18-hour fast. But it is different for everyone. There is a time and place for everyone. You choose to put yourself into a trend or a fad, you become the puppet. You become the emotional puppet being controlled by society and social media. So number one, what is fasting? Number one, what is intermittent fasting? It's a crap word. Okay, forget a word, remove the word intermittent. If you eat lunch and you eat dinner 4 hours later, you fasted for 4 hours. If you had dinner at 8 o'clock, and you eat breakfast at 8 o'clock next morning, you fasted for 12 hours. Fasting is a break between meals. Okay? There is no food, there is only water. And if you're dry fasting, there is no water. So first understand the meaning. Okay? The meaning of fasting. Okay? The second thing that we need to understand is, of course fasting is not for everyone. Of course it isn't. But because social media influenced you with all the pros and the glamour of fasting, you jumped into it. For some people, it made them worse. People who are metabolically unfit, fasting may not be the best thing for them. First, sort out your problems and then start to fast. Some people with thyroid problems, fasting makes the thyroid worse. Some people with thyroid problems, like just clinically on the borderline, it can reverse your thyroid problem. So you see, it can work for thyroid, it can also work against thyroid. It depends on so many other factors. You have a thyroid problem and you're chronically stressed out. You're stressing your body in the gym, you're stressing out your body with sleep deprivation, and you expect fasting to work for you. It's working against you. Some people with terribly fluctuating levels of blood glucose. Fasting can make it worse. And sometimes fasting reverses type 2 diabetes as well. It's different for everyone. The biggest fad and the lie is that it was sold to people to lose weight. And guess what? People started fasting, they lost 2, 3, 4, 5 kilos, and then they hit a plateau. Or they stopped fasting and they put the weight back on because they didn't train their metabolism. They didn't train for muscle. They didn't train human behavior. Just because you fast doesn't mean you can be greedy in your eating phase. Just because you fast doesn't give you a free pass to eat what you want in the eating window. That's where people have messed up fasting, okay, and made it into a fad that can be dangerous. So of course, some people with depression, you're depressed, fasting can make it worse for you. And for some people who are depressed, fasting gives them a lot of energy and it works for them. So if you are waiting for social media to tell you what to do every single morning, the fault lies with you. You can understand the concept in fasting and then you got to apply it to your bio-individual self. You got to say, hey, I feel great in 12 hours. I feel great in 13 hours. 15 hours is a push. I feel horrible. I feel fatigued. My cravings are there. When I break the fast, I want to eat more sugar. That's the wrong amount of fasting for you. No nutritionist or dietitian or doctor can ever tell you how much you need to fast. You got to figure it out on your own with a little bit of discipline, a little bit of effort, and a little bit of vitamin C. Actually, a whole load of vitamin C, which is common sense. If you suffer from malnourishment and malnutrition, which most people do, fasting is going to work against you. You're fasting for 16 hours, you have an 8-hour window, okay? How can you make sure that you're getting all the nutrients, the macros and micros that your body needs? Now, there are some people who know how to do this, and some people do it the right way. The other people just say, hey, I'm going to do OMAD. OMAD works for some people, 1 meal a day. And it is terrible for a whole load of other people because they don't know how to get nutrition in that one meal. They think it's about starvation. They think I'm eating less, it's going to be better. There's a huge difference between fasting and calorie restriction. You're better off with calorie restriction. Calorie restriction, even allowing yourself to eat a little lesser than you usually do, is tied up with lower inflammation, is tied up with the benefits of longevity, health span, and lifespan. So you need to understand that based on you, your individuality, you fast. I have cancer patients who do fasting before chemotherapy, and it works beautifully for them. And there are some patients who need to eat because they are so weak. So can you say fasting is bad for all patients going through chemotherapy? Absolutely not. It is great for some, and it isn't for others. And that's why if you put yourself out on social media every day and you are that slave to WhatsApp forwards telling you to drink this herb, fast this way, do this way, you're a social media puppet. You're being pulled in every single direction and you're miserable and you still haven't got your results. So we got to get stronger there. That's why I'm being a little bit assertive today. We got to own personal responsibility to be stronger and a little bit smarter. When I say a little bit smarter, I'm not intending that we're dumb. I'm intending that you have logic, you have a brain, and you have a mind of your own. Use it the right way. There are patients who recover from surgery. You got to wait until you start fasting again. Your body needs nutrients, it needs energy, it needs all of those things to repair itself. There's a time and place for everything. You look at someone's Photoshop body on Instagram and they talk about fasting and you think if you fast their way you're going to look like that. Well, you don't have to wait. You can Photoshop your body to look like that right now without causing damage with irrelevant information to you. The next thing that we need to talk about is how do people make fasting dangerous? They fast at different timings every day. There's something called a biorhythm. There's something called a circadian rhythm. Some people party till 2 in the morning and then they say, I'm going to fast for 18 hours. The next day they fast at 9 in the night, 10 in the night. That isn't fasting. That is punishing yourself, breaking biorhythms, and that's actually tricking the body into a different mode. It's not fasting. It's literally starving. Some people have made fasting into starvation. So they fast for 16 hours and then in the eating phase, instead of nourishing and fueling themselves, they try to cut down. They try to starve themselves of more carbs. They try to cut down on meals. And now they're malnourished. They have a poor metabolic rate and they wonder why they don't lose weight. They wonder why their skin isn't glowing. Now, if you are fasting the right way, let me tell you what you should be expecting. Number one, you should have fabulous energy levels. Number two, you don't need any skin cream, collagen. Your skin will glow. You will have a natural tightness in your skin because that's what proper fasting does. Okay, your weight will be managed the right way, and so will your fat percentage. You will sleep better at night. Your workouts will become more productive. Your energy, your brain energy will increase. Automatically, your appetite will control. Sugar cravings will automatically disappear. Sometimes even caffeine cravings disappear because you're running on cellular energy. You no longer need stimulants to run. These are signs of people fasting really, really well. And the last point, you're happy. You don't feel deprived. You don't feel miserable because you got to stick to your 16-8 cage that some culture put you into. You're flexible. Some days your body asks you to break your fast earlier. You do it. Happily, you get your results. Some days you're just not hungry. Your body's trying to say, hey, fast a little more. You're able to be flexible. These are signs of great fasting, and this kind of fasting is therapeutic for your health. Now, the third thing, whoever said we need to fast every day? Again, some culture told you that? Go back into the wisdom of religion and spirituality. Every spiritual path and every religion has fasting at some point in the year. Look at Ramadan right now. Then there's Lent. Then there's the Jain fast. It happens for a few days or a month at a certain time. We don't have to do extreme fasts every day. We don't need to do that. In fact, the smartest fast every day would be 12 hours. And like I said, you're different. 14 hours works for you, do it. I like Jainism. I like Jainism for its science. 12 hours fast, 12 hours eat, according to your circadian rhythm. There's a lot of science when it comes to inflammation, heart attacks, cancers, digestion, according to circadian rhythms. Okay? And the point is, after sunset, you should try to finish your dinner, or at least as close to sunset as possible. And then do not eat until the sun rises. If you're still not hungry, still don't eat. So 12 hours is the bare minimum. And that is something we can do every day. Now someone may say, hey, on Sunday, I want to fast for 18 hours. Do it. You don't have to do extreme fasting every day. There are people telling you to do 18-hour fasts and water fasts for 4, 5, 7 days. This is not something that you need to do every month. These long fasts have to be done according to many different reasons. Number one, do you need it? Number two, what is your intention? What are you trying to achieve from that? Number three, do you really think all cancer cells will die if you do a 7-day water fast? Every cancer patient out there who has hope and determination to survive would do that by now, and there would be no cancer. Please understand that it is therapeutic to fast, to prevent disease and also to recover, but the right way. The right way. Social media has made us so weak that we don't have a mind of our own to put a little logic, a little science together and figure out, hey, 12 hours works for me. I'm fantastic. I'm healthy. I'm super. I have energy to do everything. You're pulling yourself for 18 hours and you're tired. You're depressed. You're all the time angry and hangry and frustrated. You have a bitchy behavior, men and women, girls and boys. It doesn't matter. It affects your mood. That's not fasting. That's not thriving. That is unnecessary crap. You got to figure out what works for you. And when you fast the right way, your weight loss or fat loss will be a byproduct of it. Okay, I pity the people who say, I'm fasting to lose weight. What happens when you stop? What happens when the greed kicks in and you start to overeat? You want to train human behavior instead. That's what's going to work for you. So there is no debate about a stupid article that comes up on the internet. It really reflects on how we behave as human beings. The little merit in that one article is, of course, if you're a sick patient and your body needs energy to recover, you shouldn't be fasting. You should be eating the right foods, and you can start fasting once you recover. People deprive themselves of food with the wrong intention. They don't even know why they're doing it. Their why power isn't strong enough. So you got to understand, you have to carve the niche that suits your body type, not what your friend is doing. It's so pitiful to see educated people today becoming herd mentality, sheep. Someone's fasting 18 hours, looks great. Oh, if I fast 18 hours, I'll look great. Let's follow the herd. Let's become sheep. That is how weak social media is making us. And you got to understand, I'm not here to judge you. If it is weakening you, you're not meant to be on social media. You got to spend some time away from social media, strengthen your emotions, strengthen your mindset, and then decide how things have to work for you. There is no box. Today, if there's a person who's in a board meeting using a lot of brain energy, you know how many calories your brain burns? And you're trying to fast You're trying to do excess stuff because Instagram told you to do that? Listen to your body. Your body's dynamic. Your body will tell you today, there are days, I know there are days like when I train my legs or I train my back, which are larger muscles. The next day, I can't cross 12 hours of fasting. My body's asking me to nourish, to fuel, and I listen to it. I'm not going to listen to Instagram. I'm going to listen to my body. And if I'm eating my emotions, well, that's your problem. You got to get better at that. You got to understand there's a difference between physical hunger and there is a difference between emotional hunger. So when it comes to fasting, civilizations have done this for decades and decades. Yes, fasting done the right way is therapeutic. It can lower inflammation. It can train your immune system. Autophagy, fantastic, but you don't need autophagy every day. You need it once in a way. You don't need it every single day. There are other ways to stimulate autophagy. So please stop being a puppet to social media. Start using a little common sense. If fasting is working for you, do it. If it isn't working for you, slow down, cut it down. There's a time and place for everything. Another beautiful thing of fasting is because, hey, there's an abundance of food. People are snacking and eating all the time. You never give your digestive system a break. When you give your digestive system a break, it replenishes, it cleans up, it rebuilds, it rejuvenates, preparing you for the next meal. And that's why hunger is such a beautiful emotion. Hunger means your body is ready for more nourishment. But we don't even wait for hunger. We're eating, and eating. And no one's talking about overeating. The next article from the WHO should be the dangers of overeating, the dangers of greed and gluttony. But all of these fear-based articles, you got to be bigger than that, people. You got to rise above fear caused by social media. By now, all of us should know about that. And all we need is a dose of vitamin C and self-realization through self-practice. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, breathe deep.